of the Mesozoic, starring Craig Smith, Donald Von Griffin, Kieran Torres, Leslie Denneberger, Linda Cumry, me, Jim, Brenda Blackmore. So happy to have you all with me tonight. First off, Lloyd turned into a pumpkin last week, so let's catch Lloyd up on what happened after his character became sullen and unresponsive. Does anybody remember? What's the last thing you remember, Lloyd?
Lloyd, where did we drop you off?
Good question. You guys were just getting ready to go off looking for the missing MacGuffin. We had talked to the godlike beings, and they had told us that the missing MacGuffin was that away, and we were just getting ready to go off and take off and find the thing.
Oh, that's right. The big crystal spaceship tower temple thing with the alien spider people and the shifting patterns of lights that they called the spirits that communicated with you guys telepathically. Yeah. So, then everybody went south in the direction that you were directed. Passed through a couple of different strange environments. Got to an area that was lots of buttes and mesas and canyons, and that turned into an area with ruined skyscrapers and machinery and ruined city. So at one point this had been a city of some kind, a bustling metropolis. And then over the course of however long that's been, the geology changed so that rocks were thrust up or fell down. I don't know. And so it's a mixture of ruined skyscrapers and rusting cars and bent over stop signs and buttes and mesas out of a Roadrunner cartoon, basically. So.
And a cruise ship impaled on a rock.
There was a cruise ship impaled on a rock. In fact, I've got a picture of that.
Rocks fell and everyone died.
Oh, right.
Hey. Here's the cruise ship impaled on the rock.
I just remember, and there were the dudes riding the giant bats that we had to fight off because they were stealing people.
Yeah, they weren't actually bats. They're more like winged rats. They had long rat-like tails.
Rat bats.
Rat bats.
Apparently, though, the cruise ship and all its people have been here for generations and generations and generations and thousands of years.
That's what they say.
Yep.
And when you
their clothing and stuff, yeah.
and they invoked the fact that they were waiting for a response from the Coast Guard.
Of which I think our good Captain Harrows is.
Yeah.
A member of.
It's how I got my third mate's ticket. Captain Harrows went through the Coast Guard Academy to get his third mate's ticket so that he could start shipping out, and worked his way up. But yes, he is a coastie. And they said they were waiting for the Coast Guard, so here he is. So now we kind of have to go rescue their people. But that's okay because their people started getting stolen about the same time that the MacGuffin went by. And so they're probably the same thing, so we'll just knock it all out at once.
Oh, yeah. Just to catch up just a little bit. The people living there... Okay, when you got there... robed cultists on the back of giant rat bats were using nets primarily to capture people off of the Carnival Star, which is what they call where they live.
Okay.
And succeeded in getting a few people, but for the most part, our heroes knocked people, rat bat raiders. The people of the Carnival Star call them the Raiders. knocked them out of the sky, and they fell and plummeted to their deaths for the most part. The ones that you guys hit, but there were a couple of dozen of them, and a lot of them got away.
Have I ever told you guys of your tendency to be easily distracted by shiny objects?
Actually, it's more like rescuing people. Yeah.
Yeah, just substitute altruism for shiny objects, and you've got the idea.
Yeah. But I think you are aware that the MacGuffin we're looking for is the MacGuffin that the hag is looking for. So we have to decide whether we want to find it for the people and their spirit friends, or we want to find it for the hag.
Oh no, we are shipping this.
I think we've already decided that we're finding it for the people who it originally belonged to.
Oh, we're finding it for them because they'll get it off planet for us.
Yeah, we are totally shipping this thing off planet into another dimension if we can possibly manage it. A new MacGuffin will appear. She's already said so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you guys see? Because what I see is my Google Chrome has frozen.
We're all good. Yeah.
I see.
Do you see me?
Mine's working okay.
Yeah.
You're waving.
Huh. Well, that's interesting.
Your little green dots are going on.
Well, that's peculiar.
Yeah.
But yeah, I say we get this MacGuffin off world so that a new MacGuffin will pop up.
Oh, okay. Well, after you drove off or whatever, you managed to rescue several of the people that the raiders had captured. And at first, everyone's afraid of you because clearly you are not a what do they call it? A passenger, which is what they call themselves. We are the passengers. And then there's the guy who's in charge of them all is the captain. And apparently it's a lifelong position. And then when the old captain dies, they elect a new one. Or appoint one. You're not sure. Anyway, so once it was all explained that you're good guys and you helped rescue people, Captain Harrows, with the perpendicularizer, got your crawler up the side of the butte and then onto the ship and then onto the ship again, and then you brought everybody up there because they had no way to get back up. They've been living on the Carnival Star for I forget how many. It was something like 55 generations, so it's a long ass time.
Thousands of years.
Yeah, you did a rough calculation. It's around 2,000 years.
Yeah.
So considering how long it's been, everything seems to be in really nice shape. They're wearing rags, for example, which you would think, wow, 2,000 years, that's pretty remarkable. Well-made stuff, top quality, to last 2,000 years. So,
when did you decide the time period of the Carnival Star was? What year did they come from?
80s. 1980s, wasn't it?
The people who are alive now have no idea, but you looked at the nameplates on some of the electrical motors and things, and they were all made in late 1970s, early 1980s.
Mm-hmm.
So, according to nameplates. So let's see what else is going on. Oh, they treated you to a meal, which was primarily canned sauerkraut and what else was there? Canned green beans. Basically, they broke out the best stuff for you. So
we probably offloaded a bunch of water and some salt cod.
Yeah, and Captain Harrows offloaded some provisions from the crawler, and which they thought were just astonishingly, luxurious. Wow, beef jerky! This is amazing. So, and then that's kind of where it ended. Oh, you asked a bunch of questions. You found out that from the spirits back at the crystal spaceship, you found out that the creatures that stole the heart of hang on, I've forgotten the name.
Pashupatastra?
Some fancy name that we can't pronounce.
Yeah, the heart of Pashupati is what it was called. And I actually have a picture of that here somewhere too. Well, not a picture, but a sketch. If I can find the thing. Oh, I can't share it with you because Google's frozen. I guess I'll have to do something about that. I'll be right back. You stupid thing. No. Boogers. Pause. Okay, we are back. So, the cultists. Actually, this is actually the lead cultist. Hang on. Where did I find this? Ah, there we go. The lead cultist, who you did not get, looked like this. Oh, that's another thing. The cultists had these staffs that they could shoot blasts from, which they fired at you, and it stung. So,
one.
Not to be laughed at quite so much.
Want one.
But the oh yeah, on closer inspection,
Weird that everybody that we encounter around here either falls into the category of evil with a capital E or victim with a capital V.
not everybody. Ty wasn't.
Yeah,
Basically, the cowboy town, they're just normal people. They're not victims.
it does lend a little bit of credence to the hag's theory.
The village of Wangguo. The village of Wangguo is basically just a Chinese village.
Yes, but true. They simply
From like,
are.
what, 5th century, 12th century, something like that. So not everybody jumping to conclusions. Mr. Jumpy to conclusions man.
Which dynasty were they?
They were Three Kingdoms era. So I think it was like 5th century, something like that.
I believe that's 5th BC.
Yeah.
I think the Three Kingdoms area was 12th century BC to 5th century BC.
Well, I just assumed you would know that when I said 5th century, that you knew I meant BC. Or BC. No, I didn't know that. I'm making that up. I don't know. I remembered 5 was important. That's all I remember. But anyway.
It was a long time ago.
It's a long-ass time ago. But yeah, but they're not heroes or villains. Right? At least not that you know of, yet.
I'm not saying heroes are villains. I'm saying villains are victims.
Sorry, villains are victims. But village of Wangguo. It's a village of a couple thousand people. They're not victims. They're just people. See? Be perfectly reasonable. You jump to conclusions.
Yeah,
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay.
Now, I will give you that there is a certain tendency toward that.
Oh, the heart of Pashupati.
I mean, have you ever been to New York City? Victims and villains. That's all it is.
The heart of Pashupati is a crystal. One of the spirits shared a mental picture of it with you guys. It's a transparent pink, glowing pink crystal. Looks a lot like that. It's about the size of a football. So. And I don't remember how you know this. I think Cut and Harrow's got it from talking to the crystal machinery around it, which sounds... the machinery sounds like a combination of wind chimes and birds singing when it talks. But anyway, that the heart of Pashupati has essentially a baby universe in it, which is how it powers the Shavana, which is the name of the ship. And they can't leave. Leave is a very loose translation.
They can't go anywhere without their universe.
Basically, not be here. They can't not be here until they have that. Once they have that, then they shall activate it and not be here. They shall leave. So you guys are going to go get it and bring it to them. Aren't you nice? All right. There we go.
No, because we don't want the hag to have something like that on this rock.
Well, that too. Although...
Plus, we're nice.
Yeah. Well,
it would be nice if the hag were not here. If it works the
One
same way.
problem at a time.
well, she's not with you. All right, then. So that's where we left off. That you were up on the Carnival Star.
Yeah, and besides, the hag's not the problem. It's Melvin, I think, is going to be the big trouble.
Melvin? Who's Melvin?
The Ice Wizard.
Oh, Izexar.
Yeah, Melvin.
So you're up on the Carnival Star with what remains of the passengers of it after umpty-ump generations.
Eating sauerkraut and olives. Yeah.
And cocktail onions.
Leslie's one of Leslie's two least favorite things.
You know the direction the raiders went when they left. Oh, this is something else. I got sidetracked. One moment. Okay. The spirits told you that the creatures that stole the heart of God damn it. Hang on.
Howdy.
Pashupati, right?
Yes.
Pashupati, yes. The heart of Pashupati. The creatures that stole it had no minds. That's not how they put it. They put it like had no souls. But in any case, they were automata of some kind, and they looked like big black Anubis statues. And they came in, and they took it, and they left, and they went south. And the spirits couldn't do anything about it, because the invaders had no souls, and their children tried to stop them, but were not strong enough. So, here, the people that you've spoken to, when you're asking, have you seen big black Anubis statues? I've got a picture of those too, but we'll just skip it right now. Said, as a matter of fact, a couple of years ago, a couple of people did see that, and they were on the ground, marching past, and they came from the north, and then they headed toward the east, along. You're actually on the coast of a large sea. The coast, it's a very uneven coast, and there's lots of chunks of rock going up, so for a couple of miles anyway, you've got buttes and things coming up out of the ground, but the ground's covered with water. So if you were to see it on a map, the border between the water and the land would have like lots of dots in the water that are these buttes and canyons. Anyway, so they went east from here. Then, about 6 months ago, these raiders started showing up and started taking people. And they come whenever all 3 moons are full, which is right now. So they're actually safe for like a month. They have discussed whether it would be a good idea to leave the Carnival Star. They don't really have a way down, but they could, maybe make ladders or something. However, they didn't want to leave because the last entry of the first captain said that they are waiting for the Coast Guard to come and rescue them. And every generation since then has been waiting for the Coast Guard to come and rescue them. They don't actually know what the Coast Guard is anymore. It's just like a matter of faith at this point that they await the coming of the Coast Guard to take them away. To take them to dry land and port. Oh, God damn it. Pardon me. Just broke a glass and made a huge mess.
Ow.
This
Okay,
is...
pause.
Wait. God, no. Okay, I'm pausing. We're back. So, wow, that was really something. So, you are at the Carnival Star and debating what you will do next, which big decisions are take the people away from the Carnival Star that are currently there. That's one thing you were discussing. Another one is leave them there, but come back for them later after you do other things. And then the follow-up topics over those were, the next thing that you do, rescuing the people who've been captured over the past 6 months, because they come once a month and capture like half a dozen people. And this is the first time that anybody has stopped them from that, for which the passengers of the Carnival Star are amazingly grateful. Or do you say, and go after the Anubis statues that stole the heart of Pashupati?
All right. So I think we told the current passengers on the ship hang tight. We gotta go rescue your brethren, bring them back, and then we have another task we have to take care of, and then we'll take you. Then after that, we'll take y'all to safety.
Wait, I go for option D. None of the above. No, all of the above. Okay, so what I figure is, I guess if we catch up with the Raiders real quick, we could probably get those folks, haul them back to the Carnival Star, and then go after the Pashupati.
Yes, that's what I think we should do.
Okay, if the Star of Pashupati is being held in the same place as the people, I think we need to get the star first.
Yes.
Of course.
Then at least that way we can point it at somebody's head and make them release the people.
Yes, exactly.
Well, once again, I think Isco and I could probably do a little bit of reconnaissance to find out what happened to the people who got kidnapped.
Yeah.
That'll give us more information on what we have to work with.
Cool.
Indeed.
Yeah.
That's
So
what
let's ought to head that way.
Oh,
And,
this is what the area you're in looks like. But imagine that as it gets closer to shore, the mesas get closer and closer together until it is a maze of canyons. And that from this point of view, as you're looking out, you're actually looking, the ground level is sea. So there's an open sea out there after a couple of miles. And the further you get inland, the closer and closer these mesas get, until whereas you are, it's a maze of canyons.
All right,
And
but we know which direction the guys on the bats went, right?
Yes, south. Wait, no, actually east. East. Sorry.
All right, well, let's see if we can follow their trail. And
The
we can
same
report back
general-
to everybody else.
The same general direction as the witnesses told you the Anubis statues went.
Okay.
Right. So look for giant footsteps in the dirt.
Yeah.
Okay. Isco, are you up for that?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, well, let's take to the air, fly over the mesas, so we don't have to worry about that. And
Oh yeah, and if you come across the giant Anubis statues, don't attack them. Come back and get me. I at least want to figure out one of them before y'all break it.
There you
Aww. Okay. Fine.
About a dozen of these.
Yeah.
okay.
Fine.
I need some of the. No. Think about it. If you don't break it, I can use it.
Okay. Fine.
All
Okay,
right, Brandon,
so
so
what's the
let's
plan?
take off and see what we can see.
So, Isco and Erlang fly off to the east, looking for the trail of either the Anubis statues or the Raiders. Is this what's going on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Tracking falls under survival, so make a reason survival roll. And I will. Oh, if you have hyper acuity, you can add your power to that.
Okay, so not trained, but power. Got it.
And I'm rolling against you.
Oh,
It's difficult, so we're going to call this because one of the trails is literally 2 years old, and the other of the trail is guys who are flying. Your best case scenario for the guys who are flying is one of the guys that you knocked off of the rat bat survived and made his way on foot. That's best case scenario. So this is actually very, very difficult. And tell me what you rolled, because I don't think you rolled well enough. I rolled really well.
no, I got a 10, and that's untrained. That's pretty good.
I got a 12.
Okay. You don't see any trail of giant Anubis statues. There's no big footprints. But that's not too surprising, because a lot of this area is actually underwater on the ground. And as far as the flying rat bat guys, you don't see any nests or anything in the mesas or any Pueblo kind of cliff dwellings, nothing like that. However, what you do find is a big cave that is at ground level. So the floor of the cave is water. And the size of the cave is about the size of a 2-story house. It's a fairly sizable cave opening. And
Okay.
smoke is coming out of that cave.
Maybe that's it.
Noxious smoke. Foul-smelling smoke.
Okay. Report back to everybody else what we've seen.
That's your best clue.
Okay.
All right. Onwards.
Oh, what kind of smoke? Are we talking like, steam, diesel, sulfur, gasoline?
Make reason engineering rolls.
You smoke, dude.
12 again.
You can go and train. I only got an 8.
Wow, that's terrible.
Yeah.
However, this time all you needed was a 10. So, Isco does not recognize the smell. Oh, actually, fire elemental?
Yeah.
Give yourself a bonus die.
Yeah. So 14.
Oh, easily. So you got 10 and 14. Wait, what'd you get, Lloyd? 12?
Yeah, 14 total.
12.
12. All right, you needed a 10. So Erlang recognizes it as like an industrial type smell of smoke. Not sure exactly what. Isco, being the fire elemental dude that he is, recognizes it is the smoke that is a byproduct of the manufacturing of exotic metal alloys.
Ooh. Like amalgams and such.
Yeah.
I'll tell Captain Harrows it's pot smoke.
Yeah.
They're making some sorts of I clarified some sorts of like exotic metals. I can't identify what we're talking about: irons, steel, nickel, any particular elements.
Okay.
No, rarer than that, like rare earth metals.
More rare. Okay. Very rare exotic metals. Smelting, making amalgams.
But no sign of people or cultists or.
Not yet. No. That's coming out of the cave, right, Brandon? The smoke.
The
coming out of
smoke.
the cave.
The smoke, chromium, cobalt, inconel, hastaloy, mercury.
Wow.
It's the smoke coming from machinery that is refining those metals.
Okay.
So it is toxic and smoky.
I was gonna say the crawler is getting not only floats but also a closed ventilation system.
CBR environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, crack open a tube of silicone caulk and go out the windows.
But basically, you need positive air pressure, and and you're good. Yeah. And a way to relieve that.
And that's easy enough with environmental control.
Actually, okay, maybe actually on ship to call that CPS. Can't remember what it stands for though. It's called CPS.
See, I remember the old NBC kits, which was nuclear, biological, chemical warfare.
Right. Yes. That's like personal protection and such. But the system to protect like the ship, so it's positively pressured, is called CPS. I don't remember what that stands for.
Oh,
Not a big deal.
crew protection system. I don't know.
Probably.
Oh, okay. I'm still good right now.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Collection protection system, CPS.
Collection protection.
Okay,
so yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Is we're gonna do some floats and overpressure the cabin, and yeah.
Okay.
Well, so while he's working on that, we should investigate further, and I guess I'll go down and then.
Oh, yeah, no, this is while the crawler is moving along.
Yeah.
I'm doing work.
I guess I'll go down and go invisible and check it out even further. Stealth and invisibility, good stuff.
Okay. Do you have environmental immunity?
No. Well, wasn't planning on going like right through the smoke. I try to skirt the smoke.
Okay. You pass through it. and it's foul and it makes you cough. Not unlike my cough. But it doesn't kill you. So. And you go through a series of caves that are connected by tunnels. So it is a maze of caverns and short tunnels. Some of the caverns then have buildings in them, most of which are very, very, very old and half collapsed. So some of the buildings extend into the walls of the caves. And the whole thing is very maze-like and goes on and on and on for quite a ways.
Do I see any people? Like, do I see the people that raided the passenger ship?
Well, make a reason perception roll.
10.
You need 8. What do you got?
10.
You need 8. As you're flying around invisibly, right? Hopefully you can remember how to get it back out. You hear chanting. And you can either go toward the chanting or obey.
Towards. Always towards. Always towards the danger.
Okay. You go into one of the tunnels that connect the larger caverns, and that goes on for a ways and opens up into a large open area that appears to be inside of a building. And there's big machinery and big vats full of bubbling, smoking stuff, and there are fans that suck the smoke into air ducts. You don't know where it goes after that. And chains hanging from the ceiling on pulleys, and the floor is metal like waffles with space underneath, anywhere from a few feet to 100 feet going down. And there is a group of about 30 or 40 people in robes chanting all the same thing. And they're in like a semicircle around a big vat that is a bubbling pool of kind of glowing Pepto-Bismol pink liquid, and suspended, like it's got like a bracket around it with chains suspending it so it's like halfway in the fluid, is the heart of Pashupati, which is glowing.
Fly in and grab it, man! Fly in and grab it!
Those are chanting. Those that are chanting. Do they resemble them? I mean, do I recognize them?
Well, they're raiders.
Okay, that's what I'm looking for.
Oh,
well,
make another perception roll since you're spying on them and all.
Yep.
Wonder if they notice you. Because we have powers beyond those.
And visibility, both.
What do you got?
You said perception? 10. Oh wait, no. Yes, perception reason 10.
Okay, you needed exactly 10. The raiders are shriveled up and wizened looking, almost like shrunken apple heads. They're just like all wrinkled and very wizened up.
Elder raiders.
And they're kind of a bluish color. Not even sure they're human. They're humanoid, clearly, but they might not actually be human.
So how reasonable? How do I think I can find my way back to this place again?
If you can find your way out, you can probably find your way back.
Okay. Maybe I should leave some marks at intersections.
That would work.
Yep, I'll do that on the way out.
Okay. You fly out. What is Erlang doing during this time?
Keeping an eye on the outside of the place.
Okay. No wandering monsters come by while you're guarding the entrance.
Okay.
I'm going to assume, I'm not even going to try the radio because I figure it won't work in here. I'll wait till I get close to the mouth of the cave to try the radio.
Yeah, you can get through, sure.
Sure.
But you're close enough.
Yep. I found it. I found raiders. They're wizened, older looking, chanting in the smelting area, right? Right, Brandon, where I fear the smelting is happening. Yep. I don't see the prisoners. Any prisoners though? I only found the dealie we're looking for.
What, you found the MacGuffin?
I did.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Radio back to Captain Harris and find out what their ETA is.
So Captain Harris has a...
Thing, how long are you guys going to take?
What are you doing, Captain Harris?
I am converting this thing to be able to float down the down through the tunnel, and making sure that it's got positive pressure and all of that good stuff.
All right.
Basically, I'm making sure that the machine is still crawling along. My minions and I are just like hanging off the side, welding stuff on and setting stuff up, and the machine knows where it's going, right?
Yeah, sure. So, if I understand correctly, you're setting it up so that when you get there, you can park, and it'll lift off like the lunar lander from the treads, and then the top part will just be a hovercraft that goes into the cave. Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay, sure, no problem. By the time you get there, it's all done, and you're reasonably positive that it should all work as intended.
Yeah. I mean, I've built
reasonably
enough
positive.
hovercrafts, I ought to be able to do it. Yeah. Just kind of detach the treads.
They're about 3 hours out when you radio back. Erling.
Well, Isco, you want to go in there and see if the two of us can get the thing, or you want to wait for them?
How about you look and see where the prisoners are so that we can get them more easily once we get the MacGuffin? Or heck,
yeah, that's a good idea. Do some more
use
scouting.
them as a distraction to get the MacGuffin and then rescue them.
Well, so I do like the idea of finding where the prisoners are before we just barge in, because it'll probably be maybe too late. Yeah, so I'll go back in and see if I can find where the prisoners might be.
Brandon, I will change shape and turn into a bird and fly in myself.
Cool. Let's see. What would be... Well, whatever. I'm just going to give it to you, because you'll find it sooner or later. So it's just a matter of time. You fly around for a bit. You do pass the area where they're all chanting. And there are a lot of them. And they all have one of those staves. Anyway, they all have one of those.
That shoots. Yeah.
There is clearly a guy in charge. And he is clearly the guy in charge. Because his hood's back. And he's got like a crown sort of thing on. And he's all, wizened up too. But he's got a Van Dyke. So, he's the guy in charge. So,
of course.
Well, he must be the evil twin then.
Down a different tunnel, you find...
Are we talking a Jerry Van Dyke or a Dick Van Dyke?
You find what appears to be a living area. And it doesn't even seem to be... Let me see. Was it be locked or not? Do we want to lock these people up? Seems like we probably would. Okay. You reach an area that has a great big door with a bar across it, because they can't get to the bar from the other side. So why be fancy? So it's like it looks like a submarine door. Like it's oval, like a rounded rectangle with like a big spinny wheel sort of thing on this side, and it's got
a pressure door.
Yep.
There you go.
They have on surface ships as well.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. And there's they were a thing for a while. These locking things you put on a steering wheel to keep it from moving.
Yeah.
Sorry. That really
the club. Yes, there is the club on the wheel, and one end of it hits one of the clamps on the door and keeps it from the wheel from spinning.
Yep.
And you can tell by what's on the ground and litter in this area that this is a well-traveled area. People come and go through here a lot. And that door's locked.
That the club is easily defeated by any competent car thief. I just put in messages, kind of I think what I think Donald or what Captain Harrows is doing to the crawler as it moves. It's pretty funny YouTube, but it's really short if y'all want to watch it.
Okay.
So, are there any guards
here? No, they're all chanting.
Just the door. Okay. How much noise is it going to make if I open the door? Can I do it quietly?
You're there with Erlang, so you guys can decide what you want to do about it.
Well, if it's all rusted, I don't want to make a lot of noise opening the damn thing.
Will it squeak when you open it?
I hear anything.
It'll probably squeak when you open it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't carry oil. You get any oil?
Why? It's a great accelerant. You're your own.
Well, lamp oil or something like that. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Have you seen what happens when you set a lighter to some BB blaster?
Oh yeah, I mean on the ziggurat top with the ice wizard, Melvin.
Well, you think you have some?
No, I don't. I wouldn't now, but it may occur to me that it might be a good idea in the future.
Okay. Erlang, you want to do anything?
I call him Iskandar, but I know he's not from Star Blazers.
I'll fly down to the door and change one of the ugly little raider guys.
Okay.
And inspect the door, see if I can get it open.
It's a good idea. Okay. Yep. I'll shape him one as well.
Are we there yet? 'Cause I'm stuck in the vehicle.
At this point, you guys are about 2 hours out.
Yeah, so basically, I'll help wherever I can inside the machine, but beyond that, I can't.
The machine is on treads, and the treads are about 3 feet deep in water as it's splashing along toward where Ursko and Erlang are going.
Oh, in that case, as soon as we're ready to lift this hovercraft off, we pick it off and actually make decent time.
All right. Well, then you'll get there in about 10 minutes then, I would say.
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
so this is something Craig shared. Let me take a look at this.
I thought we were leaving the treads on, like...
I hope you're going to leave the treads someplace where they won't get stolen.
Yeah, I was thinking we were going to leave them on dry ground.
Oh, okay. I remember that video. It's like an IT management video where they're building the plane while it's in the air. Okay. All right. So you leave behind your treads. You take off like the lunar lander and scoot along over the course of the water, which you make much better time that way.
Sorry.
And you get to the entrance of the cave with the.
I didn't realize we were in the water yet.
Yeah, there's water everywhere.
Yeah, no, I was.
But you're zigzagging through caverns and buttes and things, and for the most, you'll rise out of the water sometimes, but for the most part, you're splashing through water. And then you get in the hover thing, and you zoom forward, and you find the cave, and then what?
Well, we're all positive pressured.
Back again.
We might as well. How's this cave run through? Am I going to hit like a waterfall and drop to my doom, or?
Don't give the GM ideas. I'm kidding.
I mean, I think we're just gonna go stroll on through, you know.
It goes in, and then you hit essentially a lagoon inside the cave, at which point there are buildings and tunnels leading away from that cavern. And from there, it's a maze-like circuitous route to the big industrial building where the chanting and the smelting is going on. Oh, also, the big cavern has big air vents that are pumping out the noxious smoke. So there's that.
Okay.
And somewhere in here are Erlang and Isco.
Yeah. Okay. Erline, Isco. Then check the radios.
Go first, go. Assuming I have line of sight on, or if that's how these work.
Well, hang on,
Yeah,
because
we're
you guys are shape changed into cultists right now, and so you're kind of going down the hallway, and then your radio's, "Hey, Erline, let's go." Let me see if any cultists hear that. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. So you're shape changed into cultists, and your radio goes off, and it's Captain Arrows.
I'll get on the radio and tell them we are trying to see if we can find the cultists, or try and find the hostages and break them out.
We're in the cavern. We're at the lagoon.
Oh, okay. Well,
Are we
follow our radio.
taking the whole hovercraft in the cavern, or just
It won't fit.
us?
Yeah, we got the hovercraft into the cavern, and we're offloading. And if I need to, I'll have the hovercraft tied up in the tunnel out, and then I can whistle to it to come get us on when we need it. That way, people don't wonder why there's a hovercraft sitting in their lagoon.
Yeah, make a lot of noise and
Is it full wheels?
No, it floats.
Okay, well, we'll try and break the hostages out, if hostages there be.
Well, where are you? How do we get there?
Take a left at the what those things are called, which ones are the stalactites, which are stalagmites. Take a left at the stalagmite. Big one, the big ugly one. That's good as directions that I'll give.
Okay. I take a left at this stalagmite that looks like Isco.
Oh.
Okay, so Brandon, can we close in on them?
Yes, but here's the thing. The room with the cultist chanting is between Captain Harrows and Dr. Anna and Michael, and the tunnel that has the locked door. You have to pass through that big room to get to, and it's one of half a dozen tunnels leading off of this room. But you have to pass through that big room to get to that tunnel, which eventually leads to the door that is locked.
Oh, so we have to beat up the bad guys before we can rescue the hostages.
It's not clickable until all the bad guys are dead.
Okay, but wait. But, you know, on the plus side, we've got them surrounded now.
Okay, I'm kidding. If you wanted to break that door open now, you totally could. I'm not saying you have to beat up the bad guys first. I'm just saying that the bad guy room is on the way to that door. So what you want to do about that is totally up to you.
Okay, so do we want to do a pincer maneuver with you guys from that side and us from this side and just wipe them all out at once?
How many bad guys are we talking about here, Brandon?
30 or 40.
How hard to kill are they?
Well, when they fell off their bats, they died pretty easy.
Are they within a, say, 10-meter radius of each other?
I'm sure some are.
You say they're chanting in front of a big cauldron full of goop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How upsetting will the cauldron look?
How what?
Hanging by chains.
How does the cauldron look?
It was hanging by chains, so I imagine if it can hit a chain
Okay.
or two, it'll probably spill.
Do you remember oh wow, I just realized how little this will narrow it down. Do you remember one of the bad Star Wars movies? Where...
No, none of them were bad.
Specific.
They're on the bug planet, and at one point Natalie Portman falls into a big cup that is and the cups are in a conveyor belt and they're being filled with lava or something.
Yeah.
Melted metal. Okay, it's basically one of those, and it's suspended from the ceiling by enormous chains that go up to big spinny things and motors and things.
Oh!
Were they making battle droids and that was a Geonosian planet?
Yes, that's what that is what it was.
Yep.
So, It is one of those. It's not as deep as the one Natalie Portman fell in, because she fell in and couldn't reach the top. It's maybe half that tall. But it's suspended from the ceiling like a good ways up. It's a really long chains. But, and then that has suspended the heart of Pashupati. So it's like half submerged in the bubbling, glowing purple goop in the cauldron.
Brandon,
And underneath the cauldron are like fire Bunsen burner things.
Brandon,
There you go.
I think you said something there that you will regret in a moment.
Oh dear.
I have no doubt.
Motors and
Happens to me all the time.
You said motors and spinny things.
Motors and spinning things. This is true. Okay.
So I take control of the if I take control of the motors and spinny things and spill the molten metal all over the cultists.
I was thinking the same thing myself with telekinesis, but hey, I like.
Oh,
Go for
again, the floor is a grid of metal that you can see through to underneath, just so you know.
Yeah, expanded sheet. But you
There
know
you go.
what? If you splash a little bit of molten metal on somebody,
It's not metal, it's Pepto-Bismol.
That may be better in this case. Whatever they're making.
it's
Okay, so where are we right now? We've got
whatever it is.
Isco.
I'm sure they don't
Wait.
wanna get it all over them.
We've got Isco and Erlang in the tunnel leading to the door. We've got Captain Harrows, Dr. Anna, and Michael hustling through various hallways following Isco's marks to find their way to, because he left that before, and I'm sure he would have mentioned that to them. He's like, yeah, just look for these marks on the floor. I did it at every intersection. So they're following that with Dr. Anna in the group. You're not going to miss them. So at some point in the very near future, oh, look, right now, big-ish tunnel, not big enough for the hover crawler to go through, but big-ish, double, triple wide door. Off to one side, we have Dr. Anna, Captain Harrows, Michael. Big-ass room, lots of smelty, molten things. Captain Harrows recognizes that some of the metal melting equipment is actually electrical. So there's electricity going on in here. However, underneath the cauldron with the heart of Pashupati, there's actual flames on that. And then of the half dozen, also inside this big room, there are smaller buildings. So it's very cluttered looking. Lots of hiding places. And then in an open area with the expanded metal floor, you got 30 or 40 cultists, robed cultists, except for one guy whose hood is back with a little crown and Dyke, chanting. And then off in one of the tunnels off on the side, Isco and Erlang shape changed into cultist simulacra. At which point, everybody notices the same exact thing. I'll wait for Leslie to get back. Are you coming back, Leslie? Leslie! Any questions so far on the mise en scene?
Nope.
Everybody clear what's going on?
Yeah. I think there's a non-zero chance that some of those cultists are the kidnapped people, but you know what? They're chanting now.
Oh, you think the kidnapped people turned into cultists?
Non-zero chance.
All right, well, fair enough.
But you know what? That means they're chanting now, and if they die, they die.
I don't remember how much of this, and while we're waiting for Leslie to come back, I don't remember how much of this Lloyd saw before he took off. So these are the aliens in the big crystal spaceship temple thing, who seemed not completely either villainous or victimous. And
I was gonna say, as cool as it is, those are the good guys. The hag
you say
really
so.
needs to the hag really needs to step up her aesthetic if that's what she's going up against.
Let's see, what else we got? I had a bunch of crystal spiders. Oh, and these are the spirits, and there were 5 of these that were, I don't know, revered by the aliens. So there you go. Spirits who were telepathic. And apparently could not do anything about the big Anubis statues. Come on, Leslie, come back. Come back.
Well, no, they're telepathic, not telekinetic. They probably can't even interact with things on this plane.
Where's Leslie?
Which is why they need us.
All right, we're going to move on, and we'll just catch Leslie up, because apparently something important has happened. Because I can hear talking, so sounds important.
All right, so do you guys want to be the distraction, or should we be the distraction?
Oh, I'm pretty sure I can work up a distraction or two here.
At which point, the next thing happens. Oh, did you guys meet up together? No, you haven't met up together yet. You can see each other across the room. You guys are in this tunnel, and you're looking over that way. You guys are in this tunnel, you can look over that way, and you can see two cultists who like a wave. So, yeah, you know who each other is. Big room. The big cauldron with the heart of Pashupati in it begins bubbling, and smoke starts coming out of it and rising faster than smoke normally would. It's almost like it's sentient and moving of its own accord. And then you realize up on the wall are hanging, like they're chained up and just hanging from hooks, 3 of the people who got captured. And the smoke hits them, and they shrivel up and shrink to about half their normal size, and the smoke goes back down and circulates among the cultists, and their wizened up little scrawny faces like fill out, and they become robust and healthy.
Okay, as the smoke was heading toward them...
No, that's all happened.
Oh,
now it's your turn.
Okay, yeah, I want to take command of the machines that are controlling this thing and spill the goop all over the cultists.
So you're... Damn. Okay, so you want the machine that has the goop with the Pashupati crystal in it? You want to tip that so it spills onto some cultists?
As splash it into the middle of the cultists. Although, if I have to, I'll sacrifice minion cultists to splash it on the dude with the crowd.
You feel better.
I have no idea if this is going to do anything, but it's going to ruin someone's day.
I want to caution you about something.
Yes.
Oh, hey, Leslie's back. Quickly,
Yeah.
Leslie, you guys got to the... Wait, is something terrible going on? You got to go?
No, it's I just wanted to check. My roommate came home. I wanted to say hi to her.
Okay, so make sure everything's cool. You got to the room. The big cauldron that has the crystal in it. Smoke came out and went up to several of the captured passengers, circulated around them. They shriveled up to about half their size, like raisins, and turned kind of bluish. And then the smoke came back down and circulated among the cultists, and they were all like wizened up, and then they like became more healthy and robust.
Whoa.
At which point Captain Harrows wants to spill the cauldron that the crystal is suspended in. And this is what I'm going to point out. And I'm not telling you what to do or not to do. I just want to point out that potentially that crystal has a tremendous amount of power in it, and you're not exactly sure what's going on with it right now. And that maybe that's not the safest thing to do.
Okay, so
wait. One more thing. In this room are other cauldrons full of burbling, melting, rare metals with smoke coming off of those that are being sucked into air vents. So there are plenty of other cauldrons full of toxic sludge you can play with.
Well, after seeing that, I definitely want to kill cultists.
Yeah, no, that was my plan B for if I couldn't get all of them in one shot. Was to start spilling other crucibles in them. So I'll just start with the crucibles of like tungsten and cobalt.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be the one with the heart. It can be one of the other molten metals can kill them just fine.
Let's make perception rolls to see which you guys go first, or if you want to just go like right to left or left to right, that's fine with me too. Do you care?
No, take it away, man.
Yeah,
Hey, Craig! We're going left to right. What does Isco do?
Well, what I'm thinking of doing is just walking in invisibly and exploding and trying to kill as many as I can at once, and then everybody can figure out and mop up the rest.
So, do you do that?
Yes.
All right. You walk into
In-
we'll
in-
say
Yep.
a dozen. Let's say 10.
Yeah.
You walk into the middle of 10 of the cultists, and you blow up. Is that your plan, right?
Yep.
Hey, roll your thing, and they'll roll their thing, and we'll see how it goes. That's not great. Tell you what.
You know what, Isco? It's a good thing you're immune to fire.
Maybe necessarily immune to the chemicals that are in there, but fire, yes. Let's see. 17.
Wow.
No. Yep.
Yeah, you. What everyone else sees, because they don't see Isco, is chanting, chanting, chanting. Everybody stops being wizened up and becomes all healthy again, and they're like, "Yay!" And then, boom! There's an explosion, and 10 of them are just blown head over heels. They're not dead. They're not blown apart, but they're definitely knocked down, and they are definitely hurt.
Oh, I was gonna say, can I catch any of them in the crucibles?
Then, Captain Harris, what you doing?
I think the lead guy needs a taste of molten steel.
All right. So you're gonna do machine control.
Yes.
All right. Let me
Command
find my
machine.
powers. Or command machine is what it's called nowadays. Command machines. It is a moderately difficult mental combat power level roll. So you make a mental combat roll and add your power level. And I roll against you to see if you can take control of the machinery that suspends this crucible and have it go dump on Bossman. Morgat. I'm calling him Morgat. Because why not? Wow. I rolled as low as it is possible for me to roll. So
Oh.
I don't think it's possible for you to fail.
Okay, then.
5. Cannot roll lower than that. What do you got?
15.
Not a problem. Okay, there's the electric motors spin into action, and a cauldron full of nickel, tungsten, and labdinium or some other rare earth metal, like spins, and there's like racks and tracks and things across the ceiling, and it just zooms across the room, and you can use it to attack Morgat. So this time it's ranged combat. Just range combat agility, I guess.
Okay.
Actually, control machine. Hang on. Control machine operates independently of the character controlling it, so you can have it do its thing, even though you just did a thing. And you're having it try to dump on him. It's making its agility roll to attack Morgat. I'll let you roll for it though. So you roll 2d6. We'll call the thing's agility.
I was gonna say, I believe commanded machines have attributes equal to power level, but only a reason of 1.
Oh, you are. Hey, kitty. What's up, sweets? Yeah, sure. Okay.
I don't know where I read
Sweet
that.
dreams.
We got Kitty.
That's the other keyboard I dumped an entire soda into. That's what I thought. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Control machines have the normal attributes, movement, and attack types those kinds of machines would have. However, if the GM doesn't deal with it, they can declare that the agility, brawn, endurance.
I don't feel like dealing with it. So roll 2d6 and add your power level.
Okay.
2d6, power level. probably make it 1d6 because these aren't really designed for attacking people. But tell me what you get.
14.
Good God, I should have made it 1d6. All right.
I rolled double fives that time. It was
Zowie.
Yeah,
All right.
that was kind of meant to happen.
Morgat sees this coming. It's like, because like he's like chanting and chanting and chanting, and it's just like he's like, what? He's like watching it come over, and he gets his staff and he holds it up to try to shield himself from the pouring molten liquid,
Wooden staff.
and so nearly succeeds. So nearly. But no, is splashed by molten metal, and he screams and staggers to the side. Yeah. Next to go, Dr. Anna.
All right. Oh, well, now I don't want to go out there because somebody spilled stuff, or is it just in one area?
Well, it hits it hit Morgat, and then like hit the expanded metal and kind of splashed a bit, and then melted through it. So now there's basically a melted hole.
Okay, just have
About,
to avoid that.
Yay big
Okay.
in the expanded metal.
Yeah. That's to keep them from running away from you, dear.
Gotcha. All right. I will leave the whatever this thing is now, and okay, and or at least step out of it and hey, I don't need to get in there just yet. I'll take a couple pot shots at them. We'll start with shooting at them
All right.
because why not?
Pew pew pew.
Let's go with taking out. What? I think I can handle 2. I know there's a cut. There's a penalty for each shot, right?
Yeah, 1 die penalty on each shot. And so you get 1 die plus your attribute plus your power for each attack.
Well, you're gonna run up and hit people?
No, I was gonna go ahead and shoot them with arrows.
She was gonna pull a flip.
I'll just shoot one.
Oh, you like
blast.
sweep attack. That's just close combat. That's not ranged combat.
Oh, okay.
No, I was gonna shoot them with arrows.
Yeah, that's just one
no.
person then.
Yeah. Okay. One person. No problem. All right, and that's plus. Let's go back up. 3 plus 3, so 6. 14.
Wow. All right, you hit a guy, and he's just flat out dead. Michael. Oh, in case I haven't mentioned it, and I don't think I have, chaos. They're all running around and screaming by this point. Run! Intruders! Intruders!
I'm going to try to do something a little more altruistic as far as I want to get into one of their minds and find out if what they did to the passengers can be undone. I mean, reversed. Before we go killing them all.
That's a good idea.
With them running around, that's probably not doable. So I'm going to just, you said I can hold, mass hold, but can I do the telepathy after I've mass held, or can I only mass hold one and do telepathy on one? Or do mass hold one?
I opened the wrong thing. Alright, you have mind hold as a straight bot power, so you could use your Space Viking Jedi powers to make it mass mind hold and do everybody within a small group. So yeah, you can do a group.
Now once they're held, can I then use telepathy to read one of their minds?
Telepathy is also bought as a straight power, not in your ultra power. So yes, you could.
Okay, then we're going to mass hold first.
Okay, you get a group of people. We'll call it another group of 10. Different 10 than Isco blew apart a moment ago. And you roll mental combat, and you've got that skill, so it's 2 dice, and add your power level. and they
And
resist
I also
with
can re-roll because I have expertise, right?
right. Anything that's a 1 or 2, you re-roll until it's not a 1 or 2.
So
And
you said just just add the power, right?
just power level, yeah.
Okay, I rolled a total of 14.
Wow. You grab like 6 guys, and they just like, and they just stop moving.
And anybody can feel free to whack on any of them. I don't care.
Yup. Right, that's your action this round.
Mm-hmm.
Erlang, you got 30, 40 guys. About 10 of them are on their ass. 6 of them are frozen. Morgat, who's clearly the guy in charge, has been splashed with molten metal, but is still up and functional.
All right, Brandon, what I would like to do is I would like to fly down into their midst, heading towards Morgath. He's my eventual final target. But between where I start and where I end up, I would like to use a use a plot point to create a power stunt and hit as many of these guys as I fly past.
Sure. All right.
That is what I would like to do.
Not a problem.
So I'm just going to stick out Lady Ash one and clothesline a lot of them as I go.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
That sounds like fun.
Let's see. There are just a vast crowd of them, so I think I'll say 10. I'll say 10. You pass 10 because that's just an even number for me to deal with. And since you're spending a plot point, potato. 10's more than you could normally do this to, so we'll say the plot point does that. So you still get the penalty die, but you get to roll once, and then I'll roll versus 10 of them against you.
All right,
So here we go.
Close combat.
Yeah.
So it's what, brawn plus power level or agility?
Is it strike?
Yeah,
Strike is brawn.
Okay.
Unless you have lightning strike and you want to use your agility instead, then you can do that.
Not that much of a difference. So
Okay.
17.
Zowie.
I rolled
Okay.
10.
These guys are blocking with their staffs, which
Okay.
they're using in a way very similar to how Michael uses his. So they're getting some defense from their staffs, which like glow and spark when you hit them. However,
You want
let's
one
see.
of those staffs.
1, 2. Okay. 17, you say? Hot damn.
Did I
Okay.
say?
One guy. One. And they all do seem to be male. There's no women here that you can tell. Either that or you just can't tell. But they do, as far as you can tell, these are all dudes. One guy manages to block Lady Ash one and there's like a force field sparkly glow as he blocks. Every single other person you attack, either you miss their staff and they don't bring it up in time or move too fast, and in any case you don't hit it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of the 10, you cut straight through the staff and then cut into them. As you zigzag and head toward Morgat. They are not down, but they are injured. All but one of them. So, and 4 of them no longer have their staff. So, those guys are screwed. Next time you hit those guys are screwed.
And when I get up to Morgath, I'll boop his nose. Boop.
Well, that's the end of your action, and he sees you coming. So,
I gotta make
that guy's
some,
doing.
I
What?
gotta make that some oatmeal. She's feeling unwell, so I'll be right back.
Okay,
So don't attack me for a couple of minutes.
I'll give you a break. Morgat looks at his watch.
Well, maybe we should all take a break at this point.
40. Oh, everybody, do you guys need
Yeah,
like
I
take
can
bathroom
go
breaks? All right,
Yep.
we're pausing for a few.